The fact that as an individual, the more independent people there is, the less they want the debt ceiling to be raised. The more independent earners there is, the less they rely on somebody to take care of them financially. Think about who is voting for more entitlement programs. Actually think about, do you need entitlement programs? Do you need entitlement programs? Do I need entitlement programs? Do we need entitlement programs?
No.
Who with a job needs entitlement programs? Actually think about that question. Who is taking care of their family, their wives, their kids, their husbands, their responsibilities? Who wants entitlement programs? The only people that want entitlement programs is what? The people that are not wanting to do the legwork, not wanting to go out there and improve, not wanting to get a new skill set. So as long as they increase, everybody's trying to increase their subscribership. The left, they need to increase the amount of people that need entitlement programs. The more people need entitlement programs, the more relevant the Democratic Party will be. The more people increase that don't need entitlement programs, people are going to one day wake up and say, I'm sorry, step aside, guys. You don't need to solve my problems. I got it. You don't need to take care of my financial responsibilities. That's on me.
What's up, everyone? It's Dr. Kenny here today, and welcome to Inconvenient Truths. Today's Inconvenient Truths will be focused on entitlement programs and essentially how they are a means of creating a dependent class, because the Democratic Party needs a dependent class, because without a dependent class, as you saw in the intro, no one would need the Democratic Party. So in a way, if you look at history, look at the war on poverty, the Democratic Party created welfare, food stamps to help single parents. At the time of that policy being pushed, single parents only made up 20% of the black community. It was catered towards the black community, and also it was also marketed to the black community as reparations as well. But look where we are now in 2023, and people still demand more. This is my argument for why reparations should never be a thing, because even if you do get the reparations you actually want, you're just going to ask for more, because that's the kind of people who want reparations. That's how they are. They're entitled people, right? And in this video, we're going to list out, we're going to give the avatar of the people who percentage wise make up the majority of people that are on food stamps, EBT, welfare. It's single women. Now, this is single women regardless of race. I know a lot of people get mad at me because I like to bring up the black community, but the black community displays a lot of these negative traits: wanting something for nothing, being entitled, complaining about things being unfair when life is never fair. If you look at the historical timeline of all of human nature, fairness has never been a thing until today, until modern times, right? So in this clip, I'm gonna show you an example, because all the time I complain about, entitlement programs. Why, as a taxpayer, I want to cut it is because I see people like this woman that you're about to see flaunt how they use EBT, food stamps, and it's not even being used for the purpose that was designated by it. Let's take a look, and then you're going to see why there's a lot of people out there that want to kind of cut taxes, remove welfare. It's because of people like this lady you're about to see in this next clip. Let's take a look.
You see, I got a kid. I got food stamps. I'm like, ooh, food stamp day. I'm about to go shopping. I'm hungry. I'm thinking about chopped cheeses. I'm thinking about a T-bone steak, tomahawk steak dinner, and lobster, and mussels, and seafood, and a little bit chicken nuggets for the little mother right here, right? Why they not putting my food stamps on until tomorrow? I get my food stamps on the 1st, and now they're not coming on until tomorrow? Fuck the government. We're pissed. My kid wants oxtails. Did you know you could use your food stamps at Sephora and you can get all this stuff for discounts?
Please insert, swipe, or tap your card.
Hey guys, since everybody was so upset that I used my food stamps for Starbucks, the reason why I went into Target was to get garlic to make homemade medicine for my son. Aren't you guys proud of me, you little taxpayers. So while you guys were at work clocking in to pay for my food stamps, what's wrong, Papa? I went and I bought unpeeled garlic because I'm gonna make homemade medicine for my baby with your tax dollars.
You seen that? You seen that video? I'm a little annoyed now, right? Because she's like, "Oh, why you guys clocked into work? This is what your tax dollars is paying for." Right? Because she got some backlash because people were like, "Oh, I know you ain't just buy Starbucks with your food stamps. I know you didn't just buy Sephora makeup. What does that have to do with taking care of your kid?" Because a lot of these single mothers, these single women, this is who I call a welfare queen. I'm not calling all single moms who are on welfare queens, but the welfare queen is attributed to someone that all they know how to use is the system to get what they want. Just like you earn skills, you learn a skill, you learn how to be an accountant, you learn how to be a nurse, you learn how to be a doctor. They learn how to use the system. That's what a welfare queen is. They rely on the system for subsistence, right? And it's been a thing on TikTok for a while. I've been mentioning it. I say, hey, you just look at TikTok and see how these women abuse the system. This is why, in some ways, I'm thankful for social media because it exposed the lie, this perception that a lot of single moms that are on welfare use that, I'm a victim. Oh, I need this. You see the incentive structure, right? The Democrats want more people like this lady that you just saw in the clip. And if our country, this is why I'm a little hard on women, because if we allow our country to continue producing single women, there'll be more people on the welfare system. This is why Democrats are anti-family. This is why Democrats are pushing single mother parenthood. This is why the Democrats don't want to make any adjustments to the food stamps, because this is a passive way to incentivize people to become the kind of people that vote Democrat. This is why in the black community, the black woman votes 94% for the Democratic Party because of this. The food stamps, the EBTs, because the black community has the largest percentage of single mothers in America. This is why the women are the most loyal. This is why black women are the most loyal Democratic voters, because of that. Now, let's go on to this next clip. We're going to start talking about toxic charity. And when you hear Patrick Bet-David list out the traits of the steps that leads to dependence, think about this lady for me real quick. Let's take a look.
It's very hard. The moment you start giving things away to people for free, like this is the one thing we talked about on the podcast. I don't know if you remember that one book, Toxic, what's the name of the book? Toxic Charity. Do you remember when we talked about toxic charity? The toxic charity, there's 5 things, right? 5 phases of toxic charity when you give. You give once, you elicit appreciation. You give twice, you create anticipation. You give 3 times, you create expectation, okay? Wow. You give a 4th time, it becomes entitlement. The 5th time, you establish dependency, and I would add a 6th thing. The moment you stop giving, you become an enemy. So one more time. You give once, you elicit appreciation. Hey, man, thank you so much for that. That was great. You didn't have to. You give a 2nd time. Oh, okay, cool. So it's kind of like you're going to do it again. I'm anticipating. You give a 3rd time, it's expectation. Where is it? You give a 4th time, now you're entitled. Here, let's go. You give a 5th time, you establish dependency, and you stop doing it, you're an enemy. Wow. So imagine if the political party that says, hey, guys, moving forward, we're not going to give anything. You're the number one enemy
of the people
to the entitled people.
Mm-hmm. Wow. You'll become their enemy if you take it away. You saw how quick she got mad? She said, F the government, because the EBT thing came 1 day late. Imagine that. Look, the amount of entitlement you have to feel because, I didn't get it the day I wanted. She's as much as a child as her child. This is the kind of people. This is the kind of incentive that creates people like this lady here in the clip that I showed prior. Right? Didn't that line up exactly how she is? I bet the first time she got EBT, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use that where I'm supposed to use it for." And then as the years go by and she's still relying on the system, she started realizing, can I use it for other things? And that's what the whole TikTok thing is about now. All these welfare queens, and this is a welfare queen. I ain't gonna, I'm not trying to castigate all women or all single women as this, but I'm just saying that society, the Democratic Party, they want you to become more like this lady Come, we'll fix all your needs. We'll provide all you need. Right? This is a saying that I always grew up with, and this is what I guess drives me to be self-sufficient. Do for self. Right? Rely on my own abilities for the most part. It's because if they can feed you, they can starve you. It's better to teach a man how to fish than to feed a man how to fish. Food stamp is feed a man how to fish, right? Because a lot of these people will come in here and say, oh, isn't it Christian to be in support of welfare? No, it's not. You help people so they learn how to help themselves. A Christian, a true Christian, will teach a man how to be self-sustaining, not make a man dependent on him for his subsistence. That's the difference. Welfare is just here, like, here you go, here you go, here you go. No requirements, no nothing. All you have to do is just be in poverty. And then when you try to take steps to actually get yourself out of that dependency cycle, the system punishes you for trying to be self-sufficient. Oh, you make too much money. That means you have to lose your EBT cards. What's too much money in the welfare system? If you make about $2,000 a month, that's too much money on welfare. And if you calculate the monetary value of food stamps, the monetary value on food stamps is equivalent to $55,000 a year salary. Imagine that. So that means you make about $24,000 in a year. You make too much money for welfare. That's an incentive structure to what? Keep the people dependent. And this is the problem with I have with these welfare government programs. They only exist to justify their own existence, not to actually solve problems in our society. And this is a big problem. And I agree with Pat in this next clip. He talks about how long it will take for us to fix things like this. And I believe him. I think it will take a decade, 2 decades. And then there's some people who will be heavily resistant to this stuff because they do not want to work for their own living. They don't want to be self-sufficient. They want to pretend, oh no, we should have safety nets to try to mask their real intention. But their real intention is to be dependent on the government. The real intention is they want the government to provide for all their expenses. They're trying to do the same thing with daycare now. Oh, we need government-run daycares. We need free daycare because a lot of these single women, these modern women, are some intentionally becoming single moms or don't care that they're single moms, and they were just like, oh, I'll just go to the government. That's a lot of women's fallback plan, the government. And it's creating a system where they become a drain on the system, right? Able-bodied people make it essentially relying on the government for their subsistence. This is dependency. This is why the Democrat can sit here and be so contradictory, so crazy, so radical, because a lot of these people, they don't care how the Democrat Party is. They care as long as they get what they want. And this is how we get the situation that we're in today. Let's look at this next clip where Patrick kind of dive in more about the personalities of these people. Let's take a look.
Go ahead. We got spoiled. We got complainers. We got ungrateful. We got leechers. We got modern day women. We got entitled.
What are we solving for right now exactly?
We got bitter.
These
question of the most annoying people that suck the best energy out of you. Right?
Naggers.
Naggers.
Liberals. Liberals.
Okay. But if you say
Crap
liberals,
magnets.
a lot of liberals will be a lot of these qualities, right?
Yeah.
So then you got what? Crap magnets. Okay. So crap magnets. Okay. You know what's the best question here to ask with the following? Here's a question. Which side produces more of these? Okay, those who lean on the government to take care of them, or those who are independently taking care of their families?
The left is way more.
Clearly, the
100%.
people.
On the left.
So how did that happen? Then you know what happens with there? Okay, if the left views the America's kids as their kids, because this is a village, right? We're living in a village America, right? Whatever you call it.
It takes a village. To
It's not your kids. It's
our kids.
It's our kids, right? So hang on one second. So if that's the case, then who gets judged for the kind of kids they raise? The left does. You know what kind of people you're raising? Looters, victim mentality, spoiled, complainers, ungrateful, leechers, modern day women, crap magnet, would you say liberals, entitled, bitter, naggers. Your philosophies are producing these types of people, okay? These types of people. What's the philosophy on the other side? Leave me alone. Let me do my thing. Let me live my life. Don't bother. Whether it's a libertarian, whether it's an independent, anything from center to the right, it's just leave me alone. Let me live the life that I want to live. So the judgment comes on what? Bad policies produce these types of people. These types of people ruin a nation. The ability to want to change these types of people takes a decade, Vinny. In many instances, they don't even know it. A lot of them cannot be saved. They won't be saved.
Oh my God. Truer words have never been spoken. That's the inconvenient truth about entitlement programs. Programs. That's the inconvenient truth about entitlement programs, is that it creates a class, a group of people that are unproductive, a drain on the system, as Patrick Bet-David alluded to in the last clip, right? And they almost are like locusts on a crop of fields. They are destroying the country from within by their inaction. Choosing to do nothing is still a choice that you make. And being rewarded to do nothing is even a bigger mistake from a national level, right? People will complain about circumstances. Oh, woe is me, this, that, and third. But honestly, as a conservative, I believe this quote is when I can't control what happens to me, but I can control how I respond. I can't control how much views that I get on this video. I can't control how many likes I get. I can't control how many comments I get, but what can I control on? And that's what conservatives tend to focus on. What could you do to make your situation less worse? What can you do to make your situation better? But, it's easier to frame it in the negative. How can I not make my situation worse? If everyone in the nation thought that way, we'll be a lot closer to a more self-sustaining, better society. A good society cannot exist when there's large swath of people that are dependent on the very same system for their living. It's impossible to, because at the end of the day, they have leverage over you. They have control over you. And a lot of people don't recognize that trade-off they're making. They just see, oh, I got free food, I got free that. I'm flaunting that I get to live off the taxpayer. But then you don't realize the taxpayer can simply go, what if I don't pay taxes for a year? What will happen to your living? Right? And this is how a lot of people on welfare gets looked down upon. I think America right now, we have 40% single motherhood as in the entire, without count, black, white, all races in America. That's what about 40% clip. And that's a sizable minority that's reliant on this system. And we see the results of single motherhood. Right? Everyone's complaining about the rise of mass shooters lately in the recent years. Well, did you know that all mass shooters are raised by single moms, regardless of race? Oh, I bet some of y'all didn't know that either. Every mass shooter in modern times were raised by a single mother. So like Pat was saying about the left, hey, if your ideas are producing these people, then this is your fault. I'm going to say the same about single motherhood. Now, liberals created it. The liberal policies created an incentive for people to willingly, rationally choose this path, or they got lulled and sedated into unproductiveness because of the system rewarding these behaviors. And as a conservative, how we would fix the entitlement program, because right now, like Pat said, he's right. No one's gonna support a full-on ban of welfare. What reform that I would choose to do is, hey, if you're on welfare, you don't have a right to vote. Sorry. It's going to be the same as prison. There needs to be some type of sacrifice, because these kind of people can be easily bribed. And we see it right now in the Democratic Party. That's one reform I'll make. If you allow me to only make one rule, that's the one rule I'll add. If you're on entitlement programs, you lose the right to vote. The second thing I will add as well is, hey, you don't lose the benefits until you make more than what the benefits can give you, aka $55K a year. And in that time, because I believe you should be teaching a man how to fish, there should be some incentive to push you towards a blue collar job or something, right? Jobs that have low supply but high demand. Hey, we need more welders. We need more this. Everyone wants to go to college. Okay, we can use people who are on welfare to provide more bodies for that line of work, and they'll make a good income out of it. The third rule as well is I'll add a reform where you restrict the amount of time that someone can be on welfare. I'm sorry. This is only supposed to be temporary, not supposed to be providing your entire life. Because that's how a lot of these single moms use it. And the reason I'm picking at single moms is that this is who I've seen abuse this system the most. But hey, I digress. Let me know if you agree with some of the reforms that I would make if I had the power to change welfare. Let me know if your thoughts about entitlement programs in general. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? More in the middle on this? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next Inconvenient Truths. Peace.